My ex-best friend had an affair with my husband. A few years later, they hired me to make a birthday cake for their child. I, 33F, married someone who I loved deeply. We met in college, and right after graduation, we tied the knot. I chose to stay at home because my husband, 34M, was earning a substantial income. I devoted myself entirely to him, supporting his business, cooking, and cleaning. I essentially pampered him because I was so in love that I believed that if I was a good wife and took care of him, he would love me back. For about 5 years, this seemed to be true. However, my world shattered when I discovered he was cheating on me. I found a random receipt from a hotel, which led me to investigate further. It turned out he was having an affair with my best friend, Kylie, 31F. I felt utterly betrayed by the two people closest to me. Kylie claimed she didn't want to hurt me but had fallen in love with him. My husband said, "You do not make me feel special anymore. You have just become boring and let yourself go." Admittedly, I had gained some weight due to medication and was often too exhausted to work out. I attempted reconciliation but failed, and he left me for Kylie. This incident revealed who my true friends were. While some remained neutral, only two, Josh and Marie, stood by me and cut off Kylie. I was devastated, feeling like my entire identity was tied to my husband. I lost my spouse, best friend, home, and the life I knew. Marie offered me a place to stay and a small job in her catering business. I have always loved cooking, and it was therapeutic for me. Marie's mom once told me, an average human lives for 75 years. You are already 27. Are you that foolish to waste the rest of your life being sad over a man who never loved you? Her words stuck with me. Despite my trust issues stemming from my husband's infidelity, I focused on myself instead of dating. Working in catering allowed me to socialize and make new connections. I had always wanted to start my own business, and a customer suggested I venture into baking. With the help of my friends, I established a small yet successful baking business within a few years. I began to rediscover myself. Free from taking care of another adult, I realized how much time I had my home stayed clean, with no dirty laundry on the floor or unwashed dishes in the sink. I embraced my newfound solitude, relishing in the freedom to go out without needing to answer to anyone. I learned a new language and spent more time with family and friends who genuinely cared about me. My divorce taught me to recognize red flags in relationships. I dated a few men but found none of them suitable, which didn't bother me much. I was content being single and carefree, viewing my divorce as a blessing rather than a curse. Sometimes, I felt lonely, but then Kylie called, expressing regret over marrying my ex. She complained about his lack of appreciation and the burden of household chores. They have 2 kids now, and she is always exhausted from taking care of them. She also has an unhelpful husband. Her situation made me realize that it could have been me if he hadn't cheated. I told her, "Well, you said you loved him, so he is your problem now. Why are you coming to me?" When she claimed she needed a friend, I blocked her number. At times, I feel like I missed my prime, now being 33 and starting over. Despite this, I remain hopeful for love. Currently, I am dating a guy who is also divorced because his wife cheated on him. We will see how that goes. I didn't have any contact with my ex-best friend until a month ago. She called me and said she was not happy with her life. I have moved on with my life. I don't need their shenanigans. I run a small baking business. It is relatively new. I only take orders for cakes on occasions like birthdays, graduations, or reunions, except for weddings. I have some plans to expand it, and I also have a dream to open a bakery of my own one day. A few days ago, I got an order from my ex-best friend. She wanted me to make desserts for her son's first birthday, and she didn't just want me to make a birthday cake. She also wants a dessert section at the birthday party. It is a huge order, and the pay is good. It will be good for my business. But as you can see, she and I have a history. This made me question, why does she want me to do it? My ex comes from a well-to-do family. He also has a high-paying job. She could easily hire the best baker in town. Why does she want me to do it? My business is not that big. It made me feel like she was trying to grab my attention, or just try to sabotage my business, or maybe she wants to talk to me after I shunned her the last time. On the other hand, the businesswoman inside me says to take it. I know I can do it. The party is huge. There will be many people from affluent backgrounds. I can promote my business to those people. It will boost my revenue as well. I am thinking if I just avoid her as much as possible, then it will be good. But I don't know, I am stuck in between. I need some good advice. Update. So, I decided to talk to my mom about it. I just needed her insights about this matter. She told me I should do what I wanted to do. My boyfriend also encouraged me to take the order. He says that if I had to stay to organize the dessert table, he would be there for me. So, I decided to accept the order, and it turns out that it was my ex-husband's idea to hire me. Because one of his colleagues recommended my services to him, and it was sort of short notice, so I had to rush this. Anyway, I kept it strictly about business. I did take the payment in advance, just like some of you have mentioned, I always ask for advance payments. I mostly maintained communication through email. I have an assistant who is also a family friend of mine to handle all communications. My ex-friend tried many times to meet with me in person, but I told her to just email me because I do have cake orders for other people too. I only had to meet her once in person regarding the order. She sent me the details of the party via email, and like I mentioned, it was a huge order. I didn't just have to make a birthday cake for the baby, it is Pokemon themed. There were also cake pops, cupcakes, and macarons. Luckily, I had my friend Marie over for some help. Yes, I did pay her. So, like usual, I went to deliver the cakes and other stuff for the party. There was already a table set at the venue. My boyfriend, Josh, 35, came with me to support me and to keep me away from my ex-husband and ex-best friend as much as possible. As I was busy with myself, my ex approached me and said hello. NGL, seeing him after so many years, my heart just stopped. This man has given me the worst pain you could possibly give to a human. I am glad I held my composure. I also said hello back. He tried to have a small talk with me by saying that he was sorry about how things went down and what he said, and also that I looked better than the last time he saw me. Then he drops a big bomb. He said all these years he has thought of me, wondering what I was doing. Even though he is happy with his married life, I was silent. I didn't say a word. He just kept saying that he missed me and my cooking. My homemade French onion soup is still his favorite. He misses that every time he gets sick with the flu. I didn't know what to say. At that moment, Josh noticed that my ex was making me uncomfortable, and he rushed towards me with a fake emergency. He asked if I was okay, and I said yes. After the table setting was done, I was about to leave, and that's when I saw my ex-father-in-law along with other guests. He noticed me and came to give me a hug. My ex-father-in-law is a very humble man. In fact, he was the only man who was by my side when I was going through a divorce with his son. He looked really happy to see me and asked me how I was. He started to chat with me. I talked to him about my business, and he gave me some advice. He even talked to my boyfriend. He called Josh a pretty standard guy, whatever that means. My ex-father-in-law was nice and said he would suggest my services to his friends too. He insisted that I stay until lunch was served. I said no a couple of times, but he managed to convince me. I only stayed for 1 more hour or so. But I was fine. I did notice that my ex-husband was eyeing me from the corner. I was fine because Josh was beside me the whole time I chatted with some guests. They appreciated my service. I didn't have any more conversations with my ex. I didn't even stay for the cake cutting. I left the first chance I got, but my assistant stayed to make sure everything was fine and for the cleanup. It was overwhelming for me. I saw some of my old friends and my in-laws. My MIL avoided me, and some of my old friends just said hello. Later that day, I got a message from my ex-best friend on my work email saying that she liked my service and that her guests really liked my cakes and desserts. She also said sorry. That's not where it ends. I got to know from my friend Marie, who is still in contact with some of my old friend groups, that my ex-best friend is not happy with her marriage. When my ex and she are in public, they often fight a lot. They also fought on the day of their kid's birthday. TBH, I just told her not to bring me the gossip about her. But the silver lining is that I got a huge fat check, and I can finally buy a new sugar printer or maybe a good quality oven. Also, I just want to appreciate my boyfriend, Josh. He has been incredibly supportive of me. He has protected me from my ex and ex-best friend like a knight, and I think he deserves his own cake from me. And I know a lot of you told me not to take it, but I guess I am just a greedy Mr. Krabs who cares more about the money than being classy. But this is the last time I will be taking any orders from them. I know they have a 3-year-old daughter whose birthday will be in 2 months. I think they might try to hire me again, but I will not take it if that happens. P.S. Yes, my ex-best friend did try to communicate with me during the party, but I managed to avoid it thanks to Josh and my ex-father-in-law. My ex-father-in-law knows about my situation and my discomfort with my ex-best friend. He kept me busy with small talk. Thank you all.